Paul from New Wellness Guide. Wow, the hero's journey lives and breathes every day. Every day. When this video recording is done, Tiger Woods just won his 5th Masters, I believe, after 15 years of being pretty much on the losing end of things. Had his trials and tribulations. Why do I bring this up and why the hero's journey? It's fascinating because Tiger Woods' story is a representation, or is a representation of the hero's journey and what can happen for all of us, really. To give some context, if you're not familiar with the hero's journey, I highly recommend that you read up on it, or follow, or just, you could even Google something about it, or watch a YouTube video. And if you're not going to do that, I'm going to give you a quick rundown right about nowish. So hero's journey was, that concept was honed in on by Joseph Campbell. He was a philosopher himself. He studied mythology, and he found that there were stages in all characters that are resonant with us in reality, in our lives. And what was wild is that in these stages of the hero's journey, he found that there was this similarity in the different steps, as I mentioned, that each person can go through, male or female. And the steps, putting it loosely and in line with what's happened with Tiger Woods, is the step is the threshold, crossing the threshold into something new. That's the start of the journey. And it could be like, and that may be any film that you see, any book that you read, where someone is embarking on something new. And this is basically, to relate this to Tiger Woods, is his step of something new was on the losing end. I'm going to use the losing end in this perspective. He was on a winning streak. He was freaking doing his thing, and then pow! He had a mishap that had him cross the threshold of a new way of being in his life. That he'd have to do and change things that were not, that he'd have to do and change things in his life that would be more conducive to the path that he's set to take. So crossing that threshold, when we go to that new threshold, there's basically a new set of rules, a new set of standards that we go by. And when we cross that threshold, we get a guide, we get a mentor. And in his case, the guide and mentor, and I feel like in our cases in life, the guide and mentor could be someone specific. I mean, when he was going on his success trail, his guide and mentor was his dad to help him cross that threshold of being a champion. Now in this space, after he took a loss or took a fall, his guide and mentor, in my view, were his injuries. His injuries got him to slow down, rebuild his base. He had hip injuries. He had injuries. He had knee injuries, lower back injuries. He went through it. And that guide, and in that space, he also had additional guides, whether it be his therapists, his surgeons, caddies, golf coaches. All these people were his guides to get him to find his way along his path. Now, this is a key part of the hero's journey. The guide is never one to tell you the path to take, which is fascinating. The guide is never one to tell you the path to take. It's just there to guide you along your path, so you find your way. They're dropping nuggets, gems, relations, all these things. Now, as this guide and mentor guides a person through, and as Tiger Woods was guided by his injuries and coaches and all these things, there's different obstacles we face going through this on the hero's journey. Obstacles to test our resiliency, to test who we are, to test our belief in ourselves. And then when it comes down to it, after they go through all these trials, and for Tiger, it was all these tournaments, the setback with injuries, setback in relationships, rebuilding in relationships, that we even see. There's probably other stuff in his personal life that we didn't even get to see. Now, when you think about this, as we go through this hero's journey, and as Tiger went through his, those obstacles, or those perceived obstacles, or those battles that we go through, the consequences, those are things to really hone us, test us, integrate us into this new way of being. So when we come to our big battle, which is the massive dragon, and if you notice in any mythology and in this hero's journey, there's that fight, there's that final fight There's that final fight with the dragon. The dragon is real. It's the biggest fight that we have. And then when we go against this, it tests everything about us. And it comes to test our will and our belief in self. All the things that we learn up until that point, into that fight of the dragon, that's what leads us to this, okay, this dragon has us up against the ropes. And when we go and fight that dragon and give it our last shot, give it everything we've got, we recognize that that dragon's really us. The ultimate competitor, the ultimate one that keeps us and holds us in a space. And when we embark on that journey, when we overcome that dragon, and it's not even overcoming the dragon, it's more of beginning it's more of learning to collaborate with that dragon, learning to collaborate those thoughts, those beliefs. So not that we're pushing them aside, but that we see them, we acknowledge them, and we move past them because they're really just us inside. And once this journey has been met, or once this battle has been won against the dragon or against self, then we come back a victor. We come back to the realm, or come back to another realm as something else. And in this case, this is where Tiger Woods came yesterday, where he stepped in to his new realm, his rebirth, and coming back to the golf community as the champion, as something new, not the champion that he was, as a champion that he is. So it's beautiful how this all comes out, especially when this video recording is done. It's I think it's May 15th or April 15th, tax day 2019. This happened, his rebirth into the golf world, into being a champion, and also the Easter Passover. These things coming up right now. This is a rebirth, and this is what the hero's journey is. It's a journey to finding ourselves, to be reborn. And there may be phases that all of us are going to be in along this journey, and all of us at different phases, and that's cool and that's good. It's just to acknowledge, it's to acknowledge the space that we're in, and to acknowledge that we get to have and build resiliency. Because the journey's never over. The journey just continues. There's different phases of it. So as you watch this, thank you for watching. First of all, I'm grateful for you. And as I learn and integrate, I teach and guide. Because that's how we learn. That's how we elevate. That's how we raise the tides. So all the ships go higher and go together. So this is Paul. I'm out. And the request is to be aware of your journey. Love the journey, because at all spaces, regardless of how rough it may get, there's a learning piece in there for you. There's a big time learning piece in there for you, and it's meant to help you and guide you along the way. Pay attention, take the lessons, get the guides. So if you're at a point on your hero's journey where you're going through your battles, have your resiliency, have your tribe, have your guides with you, because that's how you're going to get through. You're not going to get through a hero's journey alone. It never happens that way. And if you think that you're alone, or if you're in a space where you're making yourself alone, you're stuck in that phase, it's okay to move past it now. It's good to move past it. Your safety is secure and it's ready to rock. So blessings to all. Blessings to all. This is Paul from the New Wellness Guide and the New Wellness Men's Guide. Stay tuned for programming on Rise Into Your King. Be well. Enjoy the journey.